Imagine facing a really severe famine, being forced to pack up and move, dealing with some tricky family secrets, and then somehow becoming so incredibly wealthy that your neighbors actually tell you to leave because you're just, well, too powerful. That's the kind of fascinating journey we're about to unpack today.
It really is.
Our deep dive is focused on the story of Isaac during this challenging famine, his surprising encounters with powerful rulers, his relentless search for water, and, the divine promises that shaped his pretty extraordinary path.
Right. And our deep dive today draws from these compelling excerpts of an ancient text, often titled something like Isaac's Sojourn, Famine, Wells, and Divine Providence.
Okay.
And this narrative offers us a really rich tapestry. It's woven with personal drama, disputes over essential resources, and some truly pivotal encounters.
So our mission here is to basically extract the most important insights from these passages. We want to reveal some unique perspectives on perseverance, resource management, and the often unpredictable nature of both prosperity and conflict. Okay, so let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
So the story opens right in the middle of a severe famine. The text notes it's the second one after Abraham's time. So this isn't like the first time this family line has had to deal with this kind of scarcity.
Right, there's history there.
Yeah. And faced with these pretty dire circumstances, Isaac decides to travel to Gerar, to the territory of King Abimelech of the Philistines.
And it's right there, as he's making his way to Gerar, that the narrative shifts quite dramatically. The text tells us that the Lord appears directly to Isaac, giving him a very clear instruction. Go not down into Egypt, dwell on the land which I shall tell thee of.
And it's not just a command, is it? It comes wrapped in these, immense promises.
In huge promises.
First, there's a promise of divine presence and blessing. I will be with thee and will bless thee. Then, the sweeping commitment about land. Unto thee and unto thy seed, I will give all these countries. And this is like a direct fulfillment of an oath made to his father, Abraham.
Yeah, explicitly linked.
Right, extending to the multiplication of his descendants as the stars of heaven, and even promising this universal blessing through his lineage where in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
And what's really striking here is that the text explicitly states the reason for these blessings. It's not just random favor.
Right.
It's because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. This powerfully links Isaac's future prosperity and destiny directly to his father's faithfulness and obedience. It's quite something.
That's a fascinating point, linking Isaac's immense future prosperity directly to his father's actions. My immediate thought is, how does someone even begin to process that? Such a direct instruction, these huge promises, especially when you're standing, right in the middle of a famine.
Yeah.
What does the text tell us about Isaac's immediate response? Does he question it? Does he hesitate?
It's a great question, right?
Yeah.
You'd almost expect some hesitation, maybe some fear.
Yeah.
But what's remarkable is Isaac's immediate compliance. He just follows the instruction.
Wow.
He settles in Gerar, trusting in this direct guidance and these long-term promises, even when facing immediate visible scarcity. It shows this really deep-seated trust that just overrides the circumstances he can see.
Okay, so Isaac settles in Gerar, but almost immediately he runs into a familiar problem one his father, Abraham, also faced before him.
Right, the same pattern.
He fears the local men might kill him to take his wife Rebekah because the text says she was fair to look upon, incredibly beautiful. And his solution, maybe influenced by that family history, is to claim she is my sister.
And this deception isn't just a quick thing. The text says it persists for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. Then King Abimelech, almost by chance it seems, looks out a window and spots Isaac and Rebekah in a moment of clear intimacy, sporting, the text calls it.
Right.
Clearly not sibling affection. And the truth of their marriage is immediately obvious to him.
And Abimelech certainly doesn't take this lightly. He confronts Isaac directly, saying, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife, and how saidst thou, she is my sister?
Yeah, calls him out.
Isaac's explanation is pretty simple. Because I said, lest I die for her. But Abimelech's concern goes beyond just being lied to, doesn't it?
Absolutely. He tells Isaac, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have limbed with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us.
Guiltiness upon us. That's interesting.
Exactly. It highlights this fascinating aspect of sort of ancient morality and communal responsibility. The king is worried about the repercussions on his own people.
Makes sense.
Indeed. And what's truly insightful here is how quickly Abimelech acts. not just to, deal with Isaac, but more importantly, to protect his own people from potential guiltiness, this moral, maybe even spiritual culpability that could come upon their whole community for wronging Isaac.
Just what does he do?
He issues this remarkably strong protective decree. He charged all his people, saying, "He that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death."
Wow, death penalty.
Yeah. This isn't just about protecting Isaac personally. It's about protecting his kingdom from the consequences of infringing on someone who, perhaps Abimelech senses, is divinely favored. It highlights this really complex interplay of power, fear, and ancient custom.
So that whole deception about Rebekah was a huge risk, wasn't it? A really dangerous game.
Definitely.
And then Abimelech's reaction to discovering the truth, it almost seems to flip the script on who's actually in charge, or at least who holds the moral high ground there.
It does.
What's the immediate fallout for Isaac's safety and, his relationship with the Philistines after this really dramatic turn?
Well, you'd expect maybe punishment or at least serious consequences, right?
For sure.
But Abimelech, surprisingly, makes this quick, decisive move to protect him. This unexpected protection, which seems to stem mostly from Abimelech's concern for his own people's integrity and avoiding guilt.
Right.
It inadvertently grants Isaac this strange kind of immunity, at least for a while. It shows how even a morally, dubious act on Isaac's part can lead to unforeseen protection when there's maybe this underlying sense of divine favor at play. It's complex.
Okay, now, after that whole dramatic reveal and Abimelech's protective decree, something truly remarkable happens for Isaac. He sows in that land during famine, mind you.
Right, in the famine.
And the text says he received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. I mean, this isn't just a good harvest, it's an unprecedented return.
100-fold. It's staggering.
Yeah, a staggering level of agricultural prosperity right when everyone else is struggling. He didn't just survive, he absolutely flourished, grew immensely wealthy.
He didn't merely wax great, as the text puts it. Isaac went forward and grew until he became very great. His wealth wasn't abstract either. He acquired vast possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants. He basically transitions from just a survivor of famine to a dominant economic force in that whole region.
But this incredible, almost overnight prosperity, ironically, leads straight into a whole new problem.
Yep, always something.
The Philistines envied him. And their envy takes a very practical, very destructive turn. They go and literally fill in all the wells that Abraham's servants had dug back in his day, stopping access to this vital resource, water, by filling them up with earth. I mean, this is a direct attack, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's cutting off the most essential commodity in that arid land. You can't survive without water.
And this palpable envy, this resentment, it culminates in King Abimelech himself, the very ruler who had earlier protected Isaac, telling him directly.
Yeah, what does he say?
"Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we." Basically, you're too successful, too powerful, you gotta leave.
Wow. Kicked out for being too blessed.
Exactly. So we've gone from famine to deception to incredible wealth, and now that very wealth creates a new problem, forcing him to move again.
It's quite the cycle.
What's truly striking here isn't just that wealth attracts envy, which it often does, but that even when he's clearly divinely blessed, Isaac's prosperity actually becomes the catalyst for his repeated forced displacement. It suggests that success itself can be a kind of conflict magnet, sometimes demanding strategic retreat rather than direct confrontation, which is, I think, a surprisingly counterintuitive lesson.
That's a really good point. And the blocking of wells, it isn't just some petty act of vandalism. It's an ancient form of resource warfare.
Resource warfare, yeah.
It's a way to render a place uninhabitable for your perceived rivals without necessarily having an outright military fight. It just perfectly illustrates how control over vital resources, or even just the perception of disproportionate access, can quickly breed resentment and lead to forced displacement.
So Isaac, rather than, say, fighting back or arguing, he just departs from Gerar. He pitches his tent down in the valley of Gerar. And what does he do first? He goes straight back to basics. He begins to redig the wells of water that his father's servants had originally dug, the ones the Philistines had stopped up.
Reclaiming his father's work.
Exactly. And he even honors his father's legacy by restoring their original names.
Now, that act isn't just about finding water, is it? It's also an assertion of rights, a continuation of his lineage's legacy in that area.
Makes sense.
But even down in this valley, contention follows him. His servants dig and find a well of springing water. Amazing find.
Right.
But immediately, the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, "The water is ours." Instant conflict.
So what does Isaac do?
He names this well Esek, which literally means contention because, as the text says, they strove with him. He names it after the conflict itself.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? They dig another well.
And predictably, they strove for that also, leading Isaac to name that one Sitnah, which means something like enmity or accusation. It's just this clear pattern of repeated conflict over the most essential resource. It seems like he just can't escape these disputes.
But then, crucially, Isaac makes a different kind of move.
Okay.
He removes himself from that specific area entirely, moves on again, and digs a third well. And the text says, "And for that they strove not."
Oh, funny.
Finally. He names it Rehoboth, saying, "For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." This feels like a significant turning point, both literally finding water without a fight and symbolically finding room.
That sequence, digging, contention, digging, more contention, then moving and finding peace and room, it really is striking. It makes you wonder, what's the bigger lesson here? I mean, beyond just pure persistence, what might be useful for us to consider from this pattern?
That's a good question.
Well, it seems to show Isaac's wisdom, doesn't it? While persistence in digging is key, he also makes a very strategic decision to avoid endless, draining conflict by seeking entirely new ground. He doesn't just keep fighting over the same contested spots.
Right, he moves on.
Yeah, and the naming of the wells tells that story perfectly. From direct contention, Esek, and bitter enmity, Sitnah, to finally reaching a place of open space and potential fruitfulness, Rehoboth. It really suggests that sometimes the most effective way to overcome these really intractable conflicts isn't necessarily to win the fight you're in, but maybe to pivot, find an alternative path, and create your own space to thrive.
That's powerful. So from Rehoboth, Isaac then goes up to Beersheba. And once again, in this powerful affirmation moment, the Lord appears to him the very same night.
Another appearance.
Yeah, reaffirming those earlier promises. "I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake."
Wow, direct reassurance.
And Isaac's response is immediate. He builds an altar right there, calls on the name of the Lord, pitches his tent, and his servants, true to form, what do?
Let me guess. Dig a well.
They immediately begin to dig a well.
Of course they do. And here's where the story takes that utterly unexpected turn regarding King Abimelech.
Right, the guy who kicked him out.
The very king who told Isaac to leave because he was too mighty. The one whose people envied Isaac so much they filled his wells. He actually comes to Isaac from Gerar.
Not alone either, right.
No, it's a full diplomatic delegation. Accompanied by Ahuzath, described as a friend, and Fishul, the chief captain of his army. They mean business.
And Isaac, he doesn't exactly roll out the welcome mat immediately. He challenges them directly.
What does he say?
"Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me and have sent me away from you." He puts them right on the spot. Very direct.
And Abimelech's admission is remarkably candid and frankly quite humbling for a king. He says, "We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee."
Ah, so they noticed.
They noticed. Their purpose is clear. "Let there be now an oath betwixt us, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord."
Wow. "Thou art now the blessed of the Lord." That's explicit.
Incredibly explicit. And this wasn't just like a casual agreement. In that ancient world, a covenant was a solemn, binding treaty. It often involved rituals, oaths. It signified a deep, almost sacred commitment to peace.
So it's a formal peace treaty.
Exactly. It's this explicit acknowledgement of Isaac's divine favor, and basically a plea for formal peace, not just, let's stop fighting, but let's be allies based on this recognition.
And Isaac, true to his character it seems, doesn't really exploit their vulnerability or rub it in their faces.
No, he doesn't.
He makes them a feast, they eat and drink together, and the very next morning they swear an oath to one another, sealing the covenant. Isaac then sends them away, and the text specifically says they depart in peace. It's this really powerful moment of reconciliation, isn't it? Almost a complete reversal of their earlier interaction where he was told to leave.
It really is. And what's so insightful here is that Abimelech's change of heart isn't based on Isaac's military might or wealth or even cunning strategy. It's explicitly tied to his observation that Isaac is the blessed of the Lord.
Right.
It shows how this observable blessing, this sense of divine presence, can actually be a powerful diplomatic tool. It leads even former adversaries to seek peace and alliance, basically out of recognition and respect, maybe even a little bit of awe or fear.
And then the timing is perfect, too.
How so?
The same day the covenant is made, Isaac's servants report, "We have found water in the well they'd been digging right there at Beersheba."
Ah, amazing.
So Isaac names it Sheba, which relates to the word for oath, shvuah, and also sounds like the number 7.
Right, linking the water discovery directly to the covenant oath.
Exactly. And the text concludes, "Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba, well of the oath, or well of 7 unto this day." It just solidifies this whole moment of covenant, discovery, and peace.
Beautiful symmetry there.
Yeah. And then, just as the narrative seems to settle into this pattern of divine blessing, reconciliation, earthly triumph, we get this one final line. It almost feels like an epilogue, but it shifts gears completely.
Okay.
We learn that Esau, Isaac's son, is 40 years old when he marries Judith, the daughter of Geri the Hittite, and also Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite.
Hittite women, okay.
And the source simply states, almost starkly, that these marriages were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
A difficult note to end on.
Yeah, it's just this abrupt, almost jarring reminder that even amidst great prosperity, resolved conflicts, and clear divine favor, personal challenges and domestic sorrows can still persist. Life remains complex.
That's very true. If we sort of step back and look at the bigger picture, Isaac's journey really demonstrates this profound resilience, doesn't it? Resilience in scarcity, strategic wisdom when facing envy, and the ultimate power of perseverance to secure vital resources and eventually peace.
Yeah.
And it's particularly fascinating how his observable blessings, the fact that people saw the Lord was with him, ultimately led to that unexpected recognition and reconciliation from his former adversaries.
Yeah.
That's a key theme.
So what does this all mean for you as you navigate your own complex world, your own challenges? This deep dive into Isaac's story, I think, presents some fascinating insights into conflict resolution and the pursuit of peace. It really makes you think, what if the most effective way to deal with conflict, especially over resources or maybe even perceived status, isn't always confrontation, not always about winning that direct battle, but perhaps sometimes it's about a strategic pursuit of new opportunities, a willingness to create room for yourself, find a different path, just as Isaac did when he finally dug the well of Rehoboth and found undisputed space.
A different way to win, perhaps.
Exactly. Something to mull over until our next deep dive.